Good morning, everyone. We're going to call the meeting to order. If we can minimize conversations here in the room. We are here for the Cleveland Planning Commission, City Planning Commission, and today is Friday, May 15th. We are going to hear our preamble and meeting procedures. I do just want to add a brief footnote about our meeting procedures. I want to encourage everyone here in the room as well as online to take our rules seriously. They are not arbitrary, they're not optional. They are encoded in our rules, and if anyone needs copies of the rules for the Planning Commission, we're happy to provide those to anyone. We want to be respectful on both sides and make sure that we can hear everyone, but also adhere to public comment timeframes and things of that nature. We want to make sure that we're equitable and that everyone has the opportunity to have their voice heard. And so we just thank you in advance for adhering to our rules. Thank
In
you,
compliance
Evelyn.
with notification requirements of Ohio's open meeting law and Section 101.021 of the Codified Ordinances of Cleveland, Ohio, 1976, notice of this meeting has been publicly posted. All boards and commissions under the purview of the City Planning Department conduct their meetings in a manner modeled after Robert's Rules of Order. Actions during the meeting will be taken by voice vote. Recusals from any vote due to a conflict of interest should be stated for the record prior to the taking of any vote. In order to ensure that everyone participating in the meeting has the opportunity to be heard, we ask that online participants use the raise hand feature before asking a question or making a comment. The raise hand feature can be found in the participants panel on the desktop and mobile version and activated by clicking the hand icon. Please wait for the chair or facilitator to recognize you and be sure to select unmute and announce yourself before you speak. When finished speaking, please lower your hand by clicking on the raise hand icon again and mute your microphone. We will also be utilizing the chat feature to communicate with participants. The chat feature can be activated by clicking the chat button located on the bottom of the WebEx screen. All meeting activity is being recorded via the WebEx platform. These proceedings are also being live-streamed via YouTube. All requests to speak on a particular matter submitted through proper channels have been considered. We have also received emails from those who have provided written comment on a particular matter. Proper channels for comments are listed below. Communication with members of this body must follow proper channels for consideration. Any comments received by the Wednesday 12 p.m. deadline are collected by City Planning staff and disseminated to the Commission members prior to any scheduled meeting. Proper channels for public comment. Sending an email to the City Planning at clevelandohio.gov address with a comment or a letter. Calling and/or leaving a message at 216-664-2210. Sending a letter or dropping off comments at City Hall, 601, Lakeside Avenue, Suite 501, Cleveland, Ohio, 44114. Meeting rules and procedures. The chair will call each agenda item and then each applicant will be invited to proceed through their presentation. Each presentation should be completed prior to questions and comments from the Commission in order to facilitate a smooth presentation. Once the presentation has concluded, the chair will ask planning staff to summarize Design Review Advisory Committee recommendations, if applicable, and any public comments received. Public comments received through the proper channels by the deadline are distributed to Commission members prior to the meeting. Staff will also identify any members of the public present and scheduled to speak. Public comment is allowed at the discretion of the chair, and any individual providing public comment is permitted 2 minutes to speak to the agenda item in which they have an interest. The chair will then request a recommendation from staff, if applicable. The Commission will then begin deliberations and project review. Any Commission member, except the chair, may make a motion at any point after an agenda item has been called.
Thank you, Evelyn. Can you please call the roll?
Anthony,
Present.
Fluker,
Present.
Trey Scott is not present. Sargent is also not present yet either, unless he's online. Okay, Harsh
Here.
and Whitfield.
Present.
Thank you, we have a quorum. Our first order of business is to approve the minutes from the May 1st meeting. We've all had a chance to review these in advance. May I please have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Anthony,
Yes.
Fluker,
Yes.
Harsh,
Yes.
and Whitfield.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you so much. First couple of items on our agenda are zoning map amendments. The first one up is map change 2698. We're gonna invite Shannon to come up. Good morning.
Morning, Commission. Thank you for allowing me to be here. Shannon Leonard, Chief Zoning Administrator, City Planning Commission. So these two map changes that we're presenting here today go along with the proposed CMSD sites that are being reconstructed, so Glenville and Lincoln West. The first one here is going to be, I believe, Lincoln West. Yep. And so the current zoning here, can we go back, please? The current zoning here is single family and two family, and what spurred this is the reconstruction of these sites. And so in a single family or two family district, to have a school, to construct a new school, you would need a variance from the Board of Zoning Appeals because they are not permitted by right. Next slide, please. This is a little bit out of order. I don't know what's going on. Huh? Okay, next slide, please. All right, let's go back. Can we actually go to the next map change? All right, so this is changing the zoning districts of Lincoln West. You all have Lincoln West on your agenda today for schematic review for design. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. All right, that looks a little bit better. So the zoning here is two family. Again, schools are not permitted by right without a variance. Next slide. So the proposal here is for civic. This allows for existing institutions and amenities, and then obviously other institutions. So thinking about your places of worship, schools, assisted living, things of that nature. It's intended to accommodate civic and institutional uses that serve their surrounding neighborhoods and produce activities that do not readily assimilate into other zoning districts. So pretty much any type of institutional use. Civic is a great classification. It allows for these to not only be redeveloped, but also if they ever in the future need to upgrade or make any type of changes, they would be able to do so within this zoning classification. Next slide, please. So this is giving you some context of the existing high school and the surrounding community. As you can see, it's been here for quite a while, and the reconstruction of it is something that the community has been working towards. Next slide, please. This is again the existing context, looking down northeast on West 31st and also looking southeast. Next slide, please. Again, this is just more residential context. Can we go back a slide, please? West 30th looking north, as well as looking south. And as you can see that these are kind of nestled into the residential neighborhood. And by defining them as civic, we classify them for what they are. Next slide, please. And so what you'll see today with the design of this, of the proposed new school within this context of the footprint of the existing school is that if we were to leave the same zoning as is, they would need a rezoning regardless. We would have to add a map setback. Map setbacks, as you know, are only permitted through legislation. And that allows them to build at the context and within the building footprint at this location to provide walkable streets, make easy access for residents, school children in the neighborhood to get to the school. And so rezoning would be required either way. If we just did it as a map change, they would still end up at the Board of Zoning Appeals. And so with the map setback. So the purpose of this and the reason why we chose civic over, say, two family with a map setback, they would end up at the Board of Zoning Appeals. The next classification up to allow it by right without going to the Board of Zoning Appeals would be local retail. And as you can see here in this context, you have two family, it's surrounded by all residential, and so we wouldn't want to put local retail here. So this is why we chose the civic tool, so we could avoid a rezoning, but also, well, not avoid a rezoning because we're here for that, but avoid a future after this is moved through this planning commission and through all the community engagement, having to also then go to the Board of Zoning Appeals. And so this is why we're proposing at this site to be civic. Thank you. Oh, one other thing. I do know that the Councilwoman Santana, she's been briefed on this, but she has asked technically for a postponement here. I will say that this still has to go through council for an introduction, development planning and sustainability, and then a third reading. And they are also about to go on summer recess. And so that is why we brought this here today. But I did get that late night email for transparency.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Commission members, I think for purposes of what we just learned from Shannon about the council person, we are going to take public comment. But we are not going to vote on this today, but we want to give the public an opportunity, those in favor or opposed, to share that information due to the time-sensitive nature of council soon transitioning to recess. So we will now open this up for public comment. First, we'll hear from proponents in the audience or online that are in favor of this zoning change. We ask that if you are going to make a comment, that you state your name and organization if that's applicable, or your address. And please keep your comments to 2 minutes or less. Is there anyone present or online in favor? Okay. Is there anyone present or online opposed to this map changes? Yes. Come forward, please. Good morning, sir. If you could state your name and address, please.
Okay, we're good. Hi, Mike Armstrong. I live at 1286 West 89th Street in Cleveland. I just want to note first that your map change, I think it's 12 or 98, the one that said 98 on it. If you look online on the public meeting notice, there's no map presented for anyone to see. And it also, your presentations are not up for today, so there's really nothing to make a comment about that. But I just want to say this briefly and why I'm down here today. It's just under section 3001.1.7A, where Cleveland's current form-based code only applies to designated pilot areas like Detroit Shoreway, Cadell, where I reside, Huff, Opportunity Corridor. And so where in the map does it revise, or in the code, the territorial language in chapter 3001, add more neighborhoods individually? And do you have a plan to replace the pilot areas concept with a citywide applicability framework before approving map change 98? City planning also has said if the pilot's successful, the new code will be expanded to cover more parts of the city as new neighborhood plans are adopted. So just what evaluations of the pilots have been conducted to be able to conclude that the pilot is successful, and to then add more neighborhoods like this 98. And you also, last month, got funding, 1398-2025 ordinance to create fund consultancies, are your words, create FBC map changes and build on the lessons of the pilots, refine administration, provisions, conflicts with the fire code, community notification, and engagement. And living in a pilot area, I'd say these issues are real. So, I can certainly understand wanting to make a map change in these areas, but I think there's some other work to be done, and I just don't know what the basis is for approving this today. So I thank you for the time.
The comment portion and open the floor up to commission member. We will close the public comment portion. Sorry, my green light was not on. We will close the public portion comment section and open up the floor for comments and questions from commission members.
Madam Chair, I wasn't really clear about this gentleman's point. To be totally honest, I mean, obviously, changing zoning and going to form-based code throughout the cities, it's a time-driven process, and engagement moves at the speed of trust. And so, those types of things take time. So I don't see how that's applicable to what we're discussing here in terms of these map changes. Because this is in front of us. Going to an overall form-based code throughout the city is just gonna take time. I got it.
Yeah, I just wanted to answer Mr. Armstrong's question. So the authority to change the maps or the text of the zoning code, whether that's the form-based code or that's the Euclidean code, is authorized to the planning commission to do so, as well as council, not only in the planning chapters, but also under chapter 76.
The chapter.
76. That's the city planning commission chapter.
Thank you.
And then it's also included in the beginning of the zoning code to allow for the changes of maps and text.
Yeah.
And then one final point, just to clarify, when we think about zoning generally, in an ideal world, we'd have one zoning code to administer, right? But also the form-based code, as well as the old code, they both offer zoning tools. You could think of it as like a proverbial toolbox, right? And so what we know about the form-based code is that there's some districts that just work better than others than our old code, which was part of the pilot. But also as we think about changing and moving to one code overall, whether that's a hybrid or not, that this tool, by allowing us to do civic, this precludes any other uses from this area to only civic uses. We know it was a school, it is a school, and it will be a school. So this is the best tool versus, say, two-family with a map setback, or say local retail in the middle of a residential neighborhood. So that is why we chose civic. Thank you.
Councilman?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm very, very familiar with this neighborhood. I was the housing director there for 7 years and was just on this street West 30th last week to celebrate the opening of three new houses. So I'm very familiar with the neighborhood and what's going on here. But my question, Madam Chair, to the director, chief
Administrator.
to the chief, is first, two questions. Is civic a designation that comes from form-based code or from the Euclidean old school zoning?
Through the chair to the councilman, it's in the new form-based code.
Okay, and then through the chair to the chief, would designating this parcel or these parcels, the shaded area, civic, alter the zoning of any parcels surrounding it?
No, through the chair to the council.
Okay, so through the chair, every other parcel in this neighborhood will retain its current Euclidean zoning designation. We would simply be making that one civic to facilitate the construction of a new school.
That's correct. And also through the chair to the councilman and the commission, there was a comment about public notice. So for map changes, we do send out public notice to all affected properties as well as all surrounding properties 10 days in advance. So 2 weeks ago, public notices were sent out to the community. That's not legislated, but that is a policy we've adopted, at least for all the years that I think I've been here, as well as the assistant.
So, Madam Chair, I know you declared the intent on not voting on this today, so I won't belabor the point, but I think it's very good to protect us against retail because this neighborhood has put a lot of work under the West 25th Street corridor to drive that up as the commercial food retail district. So we don't want that to bleed over necessarily until those businesses are so shored up that we can grow off of them. So this seems like a good compromise to me, but I'd be happy to talk to my colleague about this as well. And I understand that if you act as you see.
Yeah.
Thank you, Madam.
Any other comments or questions? Okay, again, for purposes of the request that we received from the councilwoman, we're not going to vote on this today. We will have this back on the agenda after our chief has an opportunity to connect with the councilwoman. Shannon.
Thanks. I'm here for the next one.
So, Madam Chair, should we technically vote to postpone it then?
I was gonna do,
So-
yeah, after
so-
the other.
So we're gonna hear the other one? I thought that was,
Well, I didn't go through the Glenville one. Would you like me to go for that?
Which one?
yes, I'm sorry. Ms. Leonard?
They are two different ordinance
I
numbers.
get that. I thought you
Okay.
said not.
Oh, no, I can go ahead and present it.
Thank you.
Do you want to go back to 98?
Yeah, you guys got me a little confused with the PowerPoint. My apologies. It went so fast. All right, are we here? gracious. Okay, I'm sorry, guys. So the purpose of this, again, is to promote walkability and allow the redevelopment of CMSD school sites. Next slide, please. So this site here, as we also know, we have not seen the designs for this, or at least I have not. The neighborhood planner may have. But again, we're just kind of, sometimes zoning can be, a lot of times zoning is reactive, and we're really trying to be proactive here, and we know that this is coming down the pike. And so the current zoning here, again, is 1 family and 2 family, and similar to Lincoln West, it has the same issues. Next slide, please. Again, this is, we're again choosing to present this as civic. This allows for the existing institutions and their amenities and the institutional uses. So we want to accommodate the redevelopment of this site while also serving the surrounding neighborhood. And again, as you can see here, it's a mix of multifamily, 2-family, and single family that surround the Glenville site. And so again, the best tool that we have in our zoning toolbox here is to label this as civic. Next slide, please. So this is giving you the existing context. So there's the main school site, and then you also have the football field, which is why this is all 1 parcel. And so we didn't want to create a split zoning issue, a split in which you would revert back to the same issues of needing to go to the Board of Zoning Appeals for a site that's going to be heavily scrutinized, not only by the community, but also by this commission for the design before it can go through that approval process. Next slide, please. And this is just giving you the current context, East 113th Street looking southwest, as well as looking west along East 113th and at that intersection of Gray. Next slide, please. This is on Durant Avenue looking northwest, and then Lakeview Road looking northeast, so giving you that surrounding context around the school. And as you can see, it does look very large and wonky, but again, we want to make sure that when the redevelopment happens, it doesn't create a split zoning issue, but also classifies it for what it is and what it will be. And again, to avoid those extra hurdles beyond going through rezoning and the design. And that is the culmination of this presentation. If you want to wait to postpone it to go with the next one when we come back in June, that's fine. Public notices did go out to all the surrounding neighbors of this rezoning, as well as we have had conversations with Councilman Conwell.
Thank you, Shannon. I think we'll adhere to this one the same way. We'll take public comment, and then we will postpone both map changes for a future vote. Okay, with that being said, we will now take testimony from the public, both in person and online. We'll hear first from those that are proponents in favor of this map change. Is there anyone present or online? Hearing or seeing none, we will now allow those that are opposed to this map change to provide public comment. Anyone in person or online? Mr. Armstrong. You can just state your name and address again for the record, please. Thank you.
Hi, Mike Armstrong. Again, this is the map change I was referring to that I know you said you mailed it to people, but what you have posted for the general public to see, at least online, is it just says existing map change. There's nothing there. So, and I'm not necessarily opposed to what they want to do in that neighborhood. However, again, I just want to point out section 3001A in terms of the pilot areas. And it does say in there that 3001 1.7A, this code applies within portions of the following specified areas as shown on the zoning map: Detroit Shoreway, Huff Opportunity Corridor, and it doesn't say anything about this area here. And I understand what you're saying about legal authority in the charter, but you do speak specifically about pilot areas, and you did say that before expanding, at least to the public, that that you would evaluate this for its success for doing so. So that's all I have to say, just for the record, and I just thank you very much for your time. Thank you.
Sir. All right, seeing or hearing no other individuals opposed to this map change, we will close the public comment portion, and open up for comments from commission members.
Madam Chair, I do have a question. Why zoning map change 2698 needs to be postponed as well?
Through the chair to the commission member Fluker. It does not need to be postponed, but if you would like to postpone it, that option's
I need to
available.
understand that.
Yep, thank you.
All right. So we will postpone both map changes. I'll ask for a motion separately for map change 2698 and 2699.
Madam Chair, propose to postpone map change 2698 for a future date to be determined.
Madam Chair, I'll second the motion.
Motion in a second. Roll call, please.
Anthony,
Yes.
Fluker,
Yes.
Harsh,
Yes.
Whitfield,
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you. May we have a motion for map change 2699, please?
Madam Chair, I make a motion to postpone map change 2699 to a future date to be determined.
Madam Chair, I'll second the motion.
We have a motion in a second. Roll call, please.
Anthony,
Yes.
Fluker,
Yes.
Harsh,
Yes.
Whitfield.
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you all so much. Thank you so
Thank you,
much,
guys.
Shannon.
Thank you.
Okay, we are now going to move into the Far West Design Review. Our first item up is PRJ 26.
Oh, we're doing them right now.
You're back.
I'm back.
You're back.
Sorry,
Okay.
maybe I should read the agenda.
Our first item up is PRJ 26-012032 drive-through signage at 14016 Triscuit Avenue. Do we have Mr. Ali?
Yeah.
And this is before us for final approval. Good morning. You guys make sure your mic is on.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm presenting the signage we had already discussed. Some of the board member, they advised to lower the sign, lower, so will not affect the resident next door. And some of the board, advised to move it to the other side, which will be blocked. So, we agree to whatever you choose and things like that. So that's basically the sign is already existed. Whether we lower it or move it to the other side, that's fine.
Yep, thank you. All right, next slide, please. So the proposal here is that they're proposing a 32 square foot freestanding business identification side in the side street yard. Next slide, please. And so what you can see here on this site is the existing zoning. In pink fronting Triscuit, you can see that it's local retail. And then on the northern section next to the residential neighborhood, it's two family. What likely happened here is this property owner acquired a vacant side lot along West 100, I can't see, the street, 140th Street. And so now they have this split zoning issue. And so normally when that happens, the most restrictive zoning applies. Next slide, please. This is giving you the context. So you can see here that it was a vacant lot that used to probably be a single or two family home. Next slide, please. And so the location that they're proposing is here in this side yard. And because this is specifically in that two-family district, they're going to need that variance. Signs, residential signs, retail signs in a residential district need, sorry, getting thrown off with the passing of the slides. They have to be at least 25 feet from a residential district for freestanding business identification signs. And because they are in the residential district, they need that variance or the variation from the sign code for that purpose. And so as you can see, the location here is in that side street yard along West 140th Street. They need that variation from the sign code. Next slide.
Shannon, sorry, is there future slide that shows where the sign is in proximity to the business?
Yeah, I would like to, we could go back, I think, 2 slides to the context.
I also have slides from Nate at the back. Those might be helpful.
Yeah, I would,
We have like.
can we go back to the zoning presentation? So here you go. Up. Where's the clicker?
You wanted these?
Yep, so can we go back 1 slide, please? As you can see here, the business is in red facing Triscuit. It's that drive-through. So it's the store drive-through, convenience store drive-through where they drive in and drive out. And so the proposal here is for the sign to go immediately north of where you see that red little flag of the store itself, and the white house closest to the store. In that lot between the house and the store is where they're proposing to put the sign. And they are 5 feet off of the sidewalk inward. So if we go to the next slide, you can see here, this is the house. There's the small 4-foot fence there. And right next to that fence is where they're proposing to put the sign, the freestanding sign. So right before that driveway going into the drive-through establishment.
Thank you. I just needed to be oriented a bit. Thank you.
Next slide. And so, as you all are aware, the sign code gives City Planning Commission the jurisdiction to vary the sign requirements to either be more strict or less strict, assuming that they meet the design compatibility. So as long as the design of the subject property or nearby properties is better suited, if they're meeting the design guidelines of 341 and it's the minimum variation needed. So those are the standards you're considering when considering this variance to allow this sign in a residential district. And so does that result in signage? Yep. Okay. So this is the sign. And so I will turn it over to Iyad here, Mr. Ali, as well as the neighborhood planner to talk about the sign and the design review process.
Thank you, Shannon. Mr. Ali?
Hi, how are you?
Bye.
Basically, the sign is, it'll be located on the West 140th in that lot, which is, it's over 25 feet from the resident, from the fence, the wooden fence toward the entrance to the drive-through. And also, it's over 5 feet from the sidewalk. So it's within the guidelines and, the signage and within the guidelines. Some of the board members that they, since it's leveled with the resident and the fence, so they wanted to drop it off, to drop it lower to the ground. So, and some of them, they advised to move it to the other side in between the corner store and the drive-through, but there's a parking spots in between them. So if you see, move to the other side. See, there's a parking on the other side, so they wanted to move it toward up further past the drive-through, but there is a property lines. And it is so thin that it'll be blocked directly with the other business. So people driving up south on West 140th will see it, but it'll be hidden behind the building. And also, if any vehicles park, it'll block the whole sign. The sign is not very bright. We could, as a matter of fact, dim it or but they're trying their best. It's a new owner, and they're trying their best to to keep the business going. The business has been established over 40 years, and they're renovating and they're working, and they're opening. As a matter of fact, the reason we're pulling a permit because they're opening a deli, and one of the requirement, to have the signage and the occupancy as well. So, thank you. Appreciate it.
Hi, good morning. Nate Law with City Planning. The slides I think that I wanted to present are already up there for context, but Shannon really covered it. It's within the residential property zoning district. And so design review felt that that the sign should be denied due to the proximity of residents to the residential property neighboring and the brightness of the sign at night. And so the committee would consider like a revised package that shows a lowered sign or relocating it closer or farther away from the residential district. But at this point, since the sign already exists and is already installed, they felt that denying it for now would be the best solution. And planning staff is in agreement with that and would work with the applicant to propose a new sign location.
Thank you. Commission members, comments or questions?
So, Madam Chair, to the applicant, so you're not asking for permission, you're asking for forgiveness.
Yes,
Okay, that wasn't clear initially.
please. Please forgive us.
And Madam Chair, to Nathan, you're saying that planning and design review would consider a relocation or a lowering of the sign?
Yeah, that was discussed at the design review meeting. A different presentation essentially with a revised plan showing the location changing and the sign height lowered and potentially also the brightness dimmed.
So, Madam Chair, to the applicant, are you willing to
Yes,
revisit location
yes.
with design review and
Whatever it takes to comply with the, their permission, yeah, we will.
Okay. I was gonna make a motion here if no one else has any questions. Yeah, go ahead.
So, Madam Chair, I'm sympathetic to the neighborhood here. Did we hear from the people who live next door to this sign? Did the person that lives there have anything to say?
I don't think we've received any public comment for this project. It's worth noting that the owner of the business here actually owns the property next door, I believe. At least it came up as the same LLC on our parcel data. So it may be a rental property for them. I'm not entirely sure.
Oh, okay, that's interesting. I would not want to buy a house only to have my neighbor's house unfortunately torn down a few years later to be replaced by a glowing sign. That would not be, I think, anyone's anticipation when they buy a house anywhere, especially if you unfortunately have to have the house next door demolished. I think it would be appropriate, Madam Chair, to have a lower sign, a more dim sign. I think something could be done, but it seems not this. So I think that would be, I think I'm leaning towards affirming the denial. I don't know if that's a yes or a no vote. I'm a little bit confused if the recommendation is to deny how that is handled, but I reserve.
Well, there may be another path. So I would agree, Councilman Harsh, that more of a monument type sign that's pushed further in would be more amenable for the neighborhood. Instead of mounting them on posts, you put them on a plinth or then you move it in. So what I'm going to suggest is that if this is appropriate, request that you consider postponing this to allow time to redesign, work with staff and design review, and come back at a later date to present the resolution.
Sure, whatever they recommend will comply, so.
Okay. So I would like to make a motion to postpone item number PRJ 2612. Wow, that's a long number. 012032 to allow the applicant to revise the location of the sign and seek the appropriate approvals herein.
Madam Chair, I'll second the motion.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Anthony,
Yes.
Fluker,
Yes.
Marsh,
Yes.
Whitfield.
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you all. Appreciate it. Thank you so much, sir. You're now moving over to the Central East Design Review. Our first item up is PRJ 260164227, Midtown Collaboration Center rooftop signage. This is located at 6539. We have a couple of representatives here. I'm going to ask just for ease that we have everyone unmute themselves and provide your name for the record, and then I will turn it over to Shannon. Start with you.
Connor Wallinsworth, Vocon Architects.
Roseanne Potter, Chief Growth Officer, Chief Financial Officer at the Cleveland Foundation. We also have our chair board on Zoom.
Michael Hood, Director of Place-Based Development for the Cleveland Foundation.
Erica Hillo, Vocon.
And Mr. McShepherd, if you could just state your name for the record, please.
Certainly, Randall McShepherd.
Thank you. Okay, we'll turn it over to Shannon first.
All right, Shannon Leonard, Chief Zoning Administrator. So this signage here will also require a modification from the code. So the proposal here, the applicant is proposing 2 rooftop channel letter signs totaling 112 square feet, and they will walk you through their design. So this is located in the Midtown Mixed Use District, which means that roof signs are generally not permitted without a modification from the code. This is just kind of giving you context that you all are probably very familiar with. This is clearly an old aerial, but more development has occurred in this area, thus this aerial. So this is just giving you some context again. This is the southeastern view down Euclid as well as the northeastern view. Again, why the City Planning Commission, you all have the ability to vary the code to be more strict or less strict, so long as that sign fits in within the design compatibility of the surrounding context, as well as follows the design guidelines, and it's the minimum variation needed to ensure that compatibility. So roof signs are first permitted generally in industrial districts, but as we kind of move forward into, technological advances and things of that nature, we all have seen where roof signs can fit within the community and aren't the old types of roof signs that kind of maybe don't look quite right in a commercial corridor. And so the sign code has not been updated in quite some time. And so this is requiring for the 2 roof signs, because it's on both sides of the building, the roof sign variation is required. So again, your considerations here are, does the result in signage that is better suited to the design of the subject property and nearby properties? Does it follow Planning Commission standard of approved design guidelines? And is there any variation necessary to the minimum necessary to ensure design compatibility with the surrounding commercial as well as residential property? So at this time, I will turn it over to the applicant to walk through their design. Thank you. I'm first going to turn it over to our board chair, Randall McShepherd, to say a few words, please.
Yes, good morning, everyone. I'm so sorry I could not be there. Pressing matters here at work. In addition to being the board chair of the Cleveland Foundation, I'm a lifelong Clevelander, and I work as Vice President of Public Affairs and Chief Talent Officer for RPM International Incorporated, which is a global company headquartered in Medina, but we do have a significant presence in Cleveland. You may know Dayglow Color in the St. Clair Superior neighborhood. Our Trim Coat division has facilities in the Atna East 93rd area, and we also have Euclid Chemical in the Collinwood neighborhood. So certainly a longtime friend and employer of the city of Cleveland. I just want you to know my colleagues will give you more specifics about the guidelines and the modifications and all those kinds of things. But as board chair, this is a sign that we, the board, are very, very excited about. We think that this is more than a sign. It's a symbol of hope and progress, especially in a neighborhood that has not had enough hope in recent decades. I want to say that it is a significant opportunity for us to highlight the first ever building in Cleveland that has been named by a Black businessman, in terms of that person making a contribution versus honoring, someone maybe for public office. I sat on the stage with Warren Anderson when we announced this to hundreds of individuals at our philanthropy summit. And what I saw sitting next to him when that announcement was made was shock. I saw tears of joy. And I saw a lot of pride. A lot of people in the community felt very good that someone from their community made such a significant investment to do something meaningful, to be a symbol of hope and pride and progress. Warren Anderson has been very much impressed with the vision of the Midtown Collaboration Center, the fact that it is putting businesses, new industries, new opportunities for residents of Huff and well beyond. And I think that any consideration that can be given to moving this project forward would be most appreciated. Again, I speak for the board when I say this is very important to us. We think it is a major win. Mr. Anderson is very excited about this and very hopeful that it will spur additional investment by other leaders in the community, which I agree with. So I would really encourage you and ask politely that you do all that you can do to make whatever modifications necessary to move this project forward. It would be very much appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Board Chair, and good morning, everyone, and thank you for the opportunity to be here in front of you all today. I would just like to begin by recognizing Warren Anderson and his family. For them, this naming is deeply meaningful. As Mr. McShepard stated, it reflects a legacy rooted in investing in people, community, and long-term impact. The signage itself is a core part of how this gift was intended to be experienced and understood by the public. It's not simply an aesthetic element, but a visible expression of that legacy and the story behind it. With that in mind, the proposed signage reflects what we believe is the most safest, most responsible, and most elegant design solution. It's been developed through thoughtful care, technical review, and close attention to safety, durability, and urban design standards. Ultimately, this request is grounded in three key principles: honoring a clear donor intent, ensuring responsible and well-designed execution, and reinforcing our commitment to Midtown and the Huff neighborhood. And with that, I'm going to turn it now to Michael Hood, who's our Director of Place-Based Development, for a few words on yesterday's design comments.
Thank you, and good morning. Happy to be here. I'd like to echo Ms. Potter and Mr. Shepard in their comments. This naming really reflects a legacy rooting investing in people, community, and long-term impact across Greater Cleveland. Warren Anderson's name, prominently displayed along Euclid Avenue, will serve as a beacon of what's possible, not only for our neighborhood, but for Cleveland more broadly. A few words on the technical considerations behind this proposal. This configuration is not retrofitted. From our original architectural plans, this building was designed to carry philanthropic naming through horizontal extension westward along Euclid. Structural support was integrated into the parapet specifically for this purpose. The current proposal executes that original design intent. Following design review, alternative concepts, including stacked lettering configurations, were further evaluated with our architects. Stacking the lettering substantially increases the vertical profile and wind exposure of the installation along the corridor where wind conditions are already significant. We believe the proposed horizontal configuration is the safest and most elegant, as Ms. Potter shared. We also plan to reuse the existing signage system where possible as a matter of stewardship and cost responsibility rather than fully refabricating the installation. This request is grounded in those three principles: honoring clear donor intent, ensuring thoughtful and well-designed execution, and reinforcing our long-term commitment to Midtown and the Huff neighborhood. For these reasons today, we, Mr. McShepard, Ms. Potter, and I, and our design team respectfully request approval of the signage as presented. The building was designed for this configuration, the engineering supports it, and the design honors both the investment and the corridor it sits on. Thank you.
I will turn it over to our architects, Vocon.
Good morning, Connor with Vocon here. Appreciate your time this morning. I'm going to walk you through the design package here that we presented yesterday as well, and give you guys a little bit of framework of the existing conditions and the proposed design. So to begin in plan, there's two pieces of signage that we'll review today. To our understanding, we have admin approval on the sign designated as A today, and then we'll be looking more closely at the parapet signage, which is designated as B. You're looking at some elevations here. So these are the existing conditions of the Midtown Collaboration Center signage. So you'll notice along Euclid, there's the signage that says Midtown, and along East 66, you'll see the Collaboration Center as it wraps the corner at the parapet. And as you get lower towards the canopy and the East 66 entrance, you'll see the Midtown Collaboration Center again identified there in a smaller script. I think I might have skipped one. I apologize.
It has like a little.
Little delay, okay. Proposed, you'll see here is Warren E. Anderson along Euclid, which was previously just Midtown. And those reused letters, as Michael designated earlier, will be reused and continue on East 66 elevation. So you'll see Midtown Collaboration Center wrap the corner there at the parapet. And then at A, again, you will see there'll be canopy signage here, and that will also be Warren E. Anderson Midtown Collaboration Center along that curved profile there. Some more enlarged imagery of the signage itself. It'll be internally illuminated signage. It is going to be white font, and then it'll have the black trim around it as is existing. So again, Warren E. Anderson Midtown Collaboration Center along the vestibule signage, and then Warren E. Anderson along Euclid, and Midtown Collaboration Center along East 66. Some details here, just showing that we are going to continue the way that it is currently mounted, and the structural approach will remain. It'll just be extended to adapt for the additional script that'll be added to the sign. So this is at the vestibule. And this is up at the parapet signage. So again, to match existing and reuse the existing letters. Some additional renderings here. As is existing today at the East 66 entrance. And then the proposed. And then again, this is looking northeast. So you'll see the parapet signage in the distance, and then the vestibule signage in the foreground. And proposed. And at the corner of Euclid and East 66, existing. And proposed. And finally, along Euclid, existing. And proposed. That concludes our portion of the presentation. Do we have any other additional comments?
No. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. We will open up to commission members for comments and questions. Excuse me, Vice Chair Shannon or Evelyn, can we go back to, I think it was in Shannon's presentation. I missed the variance requirement that we're looking for.
I'm pretty sure it's it, but let's make sure.
It's just the roof sign variation is needed. So because they're proposing 2 signs above the top of the building, they need a roof sign variation.
Okay.
So that the design along the roof is preferable, if that's your motion.
Yes, thank you. Sorry, Vice Chair.
Well, Madam Chair, as I recall, when this came before us, before you constructed it, this was always has been the intent. And obviously there's signage there today, which is very consistent with how you portrayed it when you presented the project. I have no issue with what's being proposed, and I don't know why the design you guys do, but that's neither here or there. That's just so I would like to propose that the signage as presented be approved with the caveat that there's a variance that we're approving for the roof signage that's going to replace what's there.
Motion second.
Yeah, Madam Chair, I second the motion.
You have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Can I just rediscuss?
Yes, we discuss.
Just for my own understanding, Madam Chair, what is the variance that is needed here? Because I'm struggling to see what they need permission for.
For the size.
For the
No,
for the length or the height or
for the location. So it's a sign on top of the roof.
But it's already there.
So that-
Yeah, right.
But the
So-
sign's already there.
But when you take it down, you create a conforming issue, and when you put a new one up.
Oh,
got it. Madam Chair, I'm all set. Thank you.
thank you. That makes no sense to me, but then again, I'm just a dumb old architect. So I'll amend my motion to include that when the existing sign's taken down and reinstalled, that variance provide you the clearance to do so.
Madam Chair, I second the amendment to the motion.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Anthony,
Yes.
Fluker,
Yes.
Harsh,
Yes.
Whitfield,
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. McShepherd.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
You as well.
I didn't know why. Glad you made that. Take one down. They want the next one.
All right, still remaining in the Central East Design Review. Our next item is EC 2026-010 Midtown Lofts, located at 3301 Payne Avenue. I will ask for the project representatives to come up. And then just make sure that your mics are on green. I'm just going to do a quick swearing in of all of you, so we have you all set. Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth for this matter and hearing under penalty of perjury?
I do.
And if you could just each state your name for the record, please.
My name is Carolyn Beamer. I'm with the NRP Group, and I do.
Rolando Matias, MA Design Architects.
Ashley Shaw, Midtown Cleveland.
Thank you. Welcome. Do you guys have the clicker? Oh, we do.
You can do it.
And if there is a slight delay, just give it a hot second. The council will have a comment. Okay, she's online. We are about to hear the presentation and then we'll hear from staff. Thank you.
Thank you. Again, my name is Carolyn Beamer. I'm with the NRP Group. We are the developer and contractor for our project Mingyu Place. This is a proposed 120-unit development along Payne Avenue. We will straddle two sides of Payne, one building on the north, one building on the south. This is an affordable housing development, affordable to those earning 30 to 80% AMI. The project includes commercial space. Cleveland Public Library will be our tenant. We also have all of the typical amenities such as fitness, community space. As part of our transaction with the current landowner, a parcel of land will be dedicated along Payne Avenue so that Midtown can complete a permanent park. And we are set to begin construction this November. So that's just a brief overview of our project. I will hand it over to Rolando to begin the presentation. Thank you.
Can we go to the first slides? So the first slide is presenting a quick synopsis of the project. As Kyla mentioned, we're going to have two buildings that we are going to be bisecting Payne Avenue, one to the north, one to the south. The building to the north, we will call Building B, and the one to the south would be Building A. Building B would have a total of 61 units. Building A to the south would have 59 for a total of 120 affordable housing units. That would vary between 1, 2, and 3 bedrooms. We also will be providing the recommended parking for the locations with a total of 55 parkings to Building A to the south. That will also include 7 accessible parking and 2 electronic vehicle charging stations. And Building B to the north would have a total of 72 parking spaces, including non-accessible, and 3 electric vehicle charging stations. which on reference to the charging stations, we're going above and beyond of what the code required. Because for our green strategy for the project, we're going for Lead for Homes Gold certification. And that will be able to get us to achieve that certification for the project, ensure that the building is fully sustainable throughout this assistance provided for the project. Let's go to the next exhibit. The project location, the building, existing building to the north at 3301. There's a single-story building in there, and then the building to the south, we have an empty lot that is an existing parking at 3338. So this particular exhibit is providing some of association of the location of the building with some of the city amenities and proximities within a mile radius from the site, which will create ability for the residents to be able to enjoy those city amenities. These are certain exhibits that show the existing conditions around the site for both locations from Payne Avenue. The first one to the left, at the top to the left, show the single-story building that I mentioned that is existing, and clearly show the empty lot parking to the south. You also have the aerial that will be able to show you those two parts as locations and the current existing elements on the parking. The building to the north, by the way, I want to clarify that building is vacant, and it's been vacant for several years. I don't know how long, but it's been several years. We can go to the next slide, please, Carolyn. This is actually showing on the zoning, the parcel numbers, the actual parcel numbers, and the location of the parcels. We can go ahead and move along.
And to clarify there, the buildings will be located on parcels 052 and parcels 001. The donated parcels for the future park is parcel 013 off of East 33rd.
Thank you for clarifying that. So this actually show the layout for each building, for building to the north, building to the south, building A and B, with the parking, location, orientation of the accessible parking locations. You can see that on building A to the south, we have a sliver of area to the east. That right now we have a sitting area in there. We have some utilities required for the support of the building on that location. And then the building to the north, again, we are showing the parking circulation around it with the bend L footprint of the building. And as you can see, one of the key features of the building is going to be that southwest corner of building B as you're heading east on Payne Avenue. One day of the intent of our design is to be able to create a gateway to the Midtown, to Asian Town area, and be able to educate the intent with the iconography and the style of the building. As we move to the next styles, you can be able to see. The buildings are going to be double-loaded corridors, both of them. I mentioned we have units from 1, 2, and 3 throughout. On building A, we'll have the common areas, we'll have some support, some administration, so forth and so on. And then let's go to build the first floor of building B. Carolyn, please. And then this is the first floor of building B. We'll have the resident units and have some supports. And then you can see the space to the east is approximately 3,500 square feet that the tenant is going to be the Cleveland Public Library, and we're working with them currently to be able to build out of the space according to the requirements. If we can go to the next, let's go, I think, to the elevations. So This is the elevations for Building A, the one to the south. It's a 4-story building. The intent of our design and the colors is to evoke some of the traditional colors of the Asian culture. One of the elements that we wanted to introduce to the building is that the Asian culture is very diverse. And within the Chinese, you also have some diversity itself. So we wanted to be able to create something that would be able to be a blanket of all the different styles without really hitting you in the head with the styles of being Asian and so forth. So we opted that the colors and the materials will be able to provide that character that we will need. This would be the elevations for Building B. To the north with the same style and iconography. You can see some of the styles between the windows. If we can go to the next style. By the way, the materials that we're planning to use are going to be brick, are going to be siding, fiber cement siding throughout with the color palette, as you can see, and also the material palette that you can see. From durable materials throughout. If we can go to the next slide, Carolyn. And here we're showing a little bit of the details that we're creating the feel between the windows, kind of like a showy panel, if you will, with the trims and dependent of the style of the building for the windows. Next. And this is a typical cross-section, how we're going to accomplish those details to be able to evoke the details that we are presenting. And here is the rendering for Building A, looking east on Payne Avenue. So this would be the northwest corner of the building. And you can see the materials, how they will represent. And you can see the accents on the porticos on the building facing Payne Avenue to create a rhythm and a vocabulary between both buildings to the north and the south. So we can go to the next building. This is the Building B to the north, and this is looking at the corner of the building, looking to the northeast. And you can see that great area that we have highlighted. That area in particular is going to be an area that we are going to be providing a mural that is going to evoke the culture of Asian Town. We'll be working with an artist that he will be able to provide us that images that we will need and the intent of what we need to be able to evoke and the Asian culture in the town. We can go to the next exhibit. This is the same exhibit, and let's go back to the first one, Caroline. When we submitting to the DRC, they made some recommendations, and they made the recommendations that perhaps we should bring. We originally have the brick height of the in that corner was up at the sill of the second floor windows, wrapping that corner where you see the orange tonality. And they mentioned to us that they wanted us to drop it down and have the brick to the sill of the first windows. We oppose that a little bit. One of the main reasons that we were trying to oppose that is that once you have a mural, we want to be able to protect it and honor the mural and cannot prevent any graffiti tagging that might happen. And we believe that with having a solid surface, that brick might be a lot easier to be able to clean the graffiti rather than a fiber cement panel. So we are going to really do a rebuttal presentation to the DRC that we still recommend that we keep the brick as we originally intended from the reasons that I just mentioned for durability and easiness of being able to clean if there is any tagging of graffiti to dishonor the mural that we are going to be
providing for the Asian community. If we can go to the next
And also,
exhibit.
just because we do have a fair amount on our agenda today, as you're finishing up the presentation, if you can just speak to the items that we have in our agenda here from design
Sure.
review, just so we have any clarity on, I know this just occurred a couple weeks ago, but if there are any updates to what design review stated, that would be really helpful.
Yeah, we have complied with all the requirements incorporated from fencing to the north. For building B, fencing to the south, that's going to be a solid fencing. Right now, we're showing a wood fence that is going to be stained. Very easily, that could be changed to another material, but it still would be solid. We have the parking that we discussed about the electric vehicles. As I mentioned, we're going to have 5 total. And then we talked about the trash enclosure, which we are including the trash enclosure for both locations. I think we had a detail in here that would show that we're in compliance with the requirements of shielding. This is some of the species that are going to be on the, there you can see the fence, which is the commonly known dog ears type of wood fence, if you will. And then you can see the enclosure that we designed for the trash, and it'd be able to meet the accessibility requirements to make the higher building code accessibility, the current accessibility code. So we also are showing the photometrics for both locations, keeping within the limits of required by the city. So we feel that we're in compliance with the photometrics for both building A and B. You can go to the next slide, which show the photometrics of building B. And other than the brick that I mentioned, I think we covered all the items that they recommended for us to incorporate into the design of the project. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Sorry for took a little longer.
Oh, it's a lot of detail to cover. Kenya, any comments you want to offer before I open up?
Yeah, so they included pretty much everything that design review recommended. I don't think we saw a photometric plan like for the lighting for the mural, but I'm sure that those details will come with the final submission. And then also the demolition of the days still has to happen, right? Because it's still the old days that's there. So I've been in contact and I've told them that they had to take that through design review and CPC as well. So yeah, that's
Thank
about
you.
it. Yeah.
Before I open up to my colleagues here, Councilwoman House Jones. Pardon? Okay, is she online still? Okay. If you can come up and just use the mic. If you could just state your name for the record, please.
Yeah, she is.
My name is Charlene Hardy. I'm Councilwoman House Jones's council aide. She just wanted me to read a letter in support of this project for this meeting. I am writing in strong support of EC 2026-010, the Midtown Lofts Mingye Place project. Mingye Place represents the culmination of months of collaboration between Ward 8 residents, the NRP group, and Midtown Cleveland, who have worked diligently to design a development that reflects our neighborhoods, values, and aspirations. This project is a direct result of community members showing up, asking questions, voicing concerns, and ultimately shaping a plan that our residents can be proud of. With the support of Midtown Cleveland, extensive engagement efforts have helped move the conversation from initial opposition to a shared understanding of what this project will bring to our community. This includes a petition that was sent to my office objecting to the project, where a majority of the signatories were not residents of Ward 8. The majority of residents now recognize that Mingye Place will provide high-quality, affordable housing, something Ward 8 deeply needs and deserves. The engagement resulted in residents who had initially signed the petition in opposition to the project now being a part of the Asiatown Cultural Committee, which is the neighborhood sounding board for Mingye Place. Beyond the housing itself, this development brings additional community benefits that will strengthen our neighborhood for years to come. Residents will gain a new park at the square dancing lot, creating more accessible green space for families and neighbors to gather. The Cleveland Public Library has also announced a new library branch on the first floor of Mingay Place, expanding access to learning, technology, and community programming. My focus remains on collaborating with residents and stakeholders who are committed to the long-term growth and stability of Ward 8, supporting legacy residents and businesses while welcoming new ones. I'm prioritizing constructive dialogue and will continue to direct my attention toward partners who share that goal. For these reasons, I respectfully request that the Cleveland Planning Committee grant approval for EC 2026-010. Mingay Place is a thoughtful, community-driven project that will contribute to a stronger, more vibrant Ward 8. Please feel free to reach out to me at the office or at her email if we have any questions. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. And just to note for the record, that letter was also emailed to us. Before we open up our commission, Ashley, any comments you'd like to
Thank you.
offer?
I'm the Executive Director of Midtown Cleveland. Again, my name is Ashley Shaw. We're a partner on the project with NRP Group. We have also led the community engagement on this project for the last 2 years. We did put a report from our engagement in the packet if you guys have it. So this is an incredibly important site for our community. It has been for the last almost 100 years. It was the gathering space in the heart of our neighborhood when it functioned as a grocery store for decades. And back in 2017-18, when Dave's Market announced that they were relocating the store, we did a lot of intentional engagement around the closing of the store, trying to understand what community members wanted to see out of the site with the store closing. And overwhelmingly, we heard two things: a park for the community and a library. And so for the past nearly 10 years, we've been really focused as an organization on trying to identify opportunities for a park and a library in the neighborhood. For about 5 years, we've been programming on one of the vacant parking lots, what we call the Square Dancing Park. It's a pop-up park that we've continued to bring investment to year over year. The community is truly, this was a community-driven project. It's the Square Dancing Park because a group of women were out there doing traditional public square dancing in a vacant parking lot, and we started to bring seating and amenities to that group. So it really started from the community. We've improved it each year, but we never owned it. And the Saltzman family has been a great partner to allow us to use it. But our fear was each year that the community continued to take more and more ownership and feel connected over that space. And we continued to make investments into improving that space. Someone was going to come in and buy the property, and we would lose that park that's become so important to the community. And so, there have been a couple different proposals over the last 9 years for how to redevelop the site. None have moved forward. NRP Group came to us with an opportunity for low-income housing tax credits for the entire site except for the Square Dancing Park, and said if this project were to be funded and to move forward, we would donate that park site to Midtown Cleveland to be able to begin to develop a permanent park for that site. So it gives us ownership, or gives some group or the community ownership over that park in the future, so we can begin to make sure that that park stays a part of our community. And so from those early conversations, we started to put a project together, and we submitted for low-income tax credits and were awarded. We started community engagement as soon as that application went in. We've had 7 community meetings over the last 2 years. Around 400 residents that we know of that have been there through those community meetings. Those meetings are translated in 3 languages. They're conducted in 3 languages. All materials are translated. We've had childcare, we've had food. We've tried to make sure that the engagement that we've hosted has been as accessible and transparent as possible. And so in those early meetings, we were giving information about the proposal that we had submitted because we didn't know if it was funded at the time. And then once we received the low-income housing tax credits, we really pivoted to how can we run an engagement process where the community is at the center, they're decision makers on things that can be shaped in the project. And so, the first conversation conversation was around the commercial tenant, and we knew from the very beginning this was an opportunity to be able to bring the library in to a brick and mortar in our neighborhood, and started having those conversations. And what we heard from the community was we want a gathering space, third space, computer lab, cafe, all things that the library could potentially bring to this neighborhood if they would occupy the first space. And so this project really allowed us to get the two things that we heard very early on from the community that they wanted out of this site. But we've had other wins. We assembled the Asiatown Cultural Committee. A few of our members are here today. They've helped name the building, the Mingyu Place. That was a name that came from the committee. They're helping now with the branding and identity of the building. The building's going to have wayfinding and signage in multiple languages. We did a tour of A Place for Us, which is another community that NRP developed that is reflective of the culture of the neighborhood in Edgewater. It's a senior LGBTQ housing. And, you know, the residents, as we walked through the building, said, this is really beautiful and nice, but this feels designed for white people. This doesn't feel like home for Asians. And so that's just one example of NRP has been such a great partner in being willing to allow the residents to shape every aspect of this project that they can. They're going to include the cultural committee in thinking about exterior and interior design so that it truly does feel like a home for Asians, and really reflective of our community. We heard safety was a big concern. The front porches on Payne Avenue, which I think are very progressive for a project, you know, brings activity and life and eyes on the street to the neighborhood. So everything we've heard from the community, you see reflected in this project in some way, and is also outlined in the report that you guys received.
Thank you so much, Ashley. And just for the record to be reflected, in addition to Midtown Cleveland, we were provided nearly a dozen letters and comments pertaining to this project. Commission members?
Yeah. I'd like to commend the team. I've lived in the CDC ecosystem for a lot of years, and I think this is exemplary in terms of how you reach the community, in my professional opinion. And more importantly, I think I've been critical of a lot of low-income tax credit projects, including some of the ones that you guys designed, and this doesn't speak of warehousing people. A lot of times you just, let's just put 4 walls up, put them in there. Very intentional about how you went about it. And hopefully this will be a model for people to follow. Because it's not just about putting people in homes, it's creating an environment that's inclusive and you have access to many amenities and everything. I think this is a well-placed project in terms of where its location. And that's what I have to say. So congratulations for that.
Thank you.
I would echo Member Fluker's comments. It's one of the best I've seen in a while, and it really engaged the community. A lot of work went into it. I know how that goes, and I commend all of you for the great work. Thank you.
Just a quick question, Kenya. I know you noted that the demolition is still in progress. Do we have a sense as to when that's going to be moving forward? Or even the applicant?
Sure.
Thank you.
We first have to close on our financing and, pull all of our permits before we can do that. We are intending and we are on track. Our building permit submission will go in here shortly, and financing should close in mid-November. Just given that there's always a couple week delay after financing, I would say demolition begins first week of December.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, I just want to point out one thing that I do love about this project, and that's the inclusion of 38 3-bedroom units. I try to say this all the time because a lot of people don't realize this, but if you grow up in a split household where your parents are not married, in order for a parent to have custody or even visitation rights, and they have a boy and a girl, they must put them in separate bedrooms. If you have 2 children and you flip the coins and you got one of each, you need a 3-bedroom unit to have custody or even to have visitation. So I think these 3-bedroom units are essential to our family structures, and having them in this unit is, it's almost a third of the units is very impressive. I see a lot of folks really turn that 3-bedroom into 1 unit or 2 units and the whole thing, but this is geared towards family, and I'm very encouraged by that. I just wanted to point that out there because I think that's an important aspect of this project. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. There are no other comments or questions from commission members. May we have a motion? No, ma'am. No. This is not. We received public.
Ma'am, let the chair
We received public comment by email at the deadline. This is not a public hearing.
You're putting
Thank you, ma'am.
on this development to target immigrant communities. You guys will all be responsible for anything that happens.
We are not open for
There is
public
a
comments.
restrictive covenant. You have.
Ma'am, ma'am.
Anti-competitive.
Can we proceed with our motion?
Also, Dave's would have a grocery monopoly. Why would you let all these things on public?
Madam Chair, this, as you have control of the body and of the room, Madam Chair,
And I'm the precinct captain.
you can most certainly decide.
Opposite.
I can be louder, but you can most certainly decide if someone is being disruptive and if security needs to be contacted. But nobody wants that because we want to hear the public statements.
Right.
So I anticipate that was a misspeaking on the chair's part and was going to be offering, as you do for all of the other matters.
You can make a motion.
As I stated, I anticipate you had spoken and was going to be offering, as you do for other matters, but you are in control of the chair. I'm sorry, I must have hit my. You are in control over the meeting and of this proceedings.
Madam Chair,
Thank you.
I'm sorry, I don't know your name, but you're conflating a zoning change or zoning process with design review. Two different processes and.
Under your rules, you have the right to, Madam Chair, to Mr. Fluke, you're absolutely correct. However, you determine to normally handle your processes. You do by the rules and as Madam Chair is well aware, has control over the proceedings and of that. Thank you.
Go ahead.
Yeah, no, we are gonna proceed with our motion. If there's a member here that can provide a motion, thank you.
Madam Chair, I'd like to move for approval of Midtown laws for schematic design. It appears the
Ma'am.
Hey, we allowed you to talk, so you want to go with me, you don't want to go with me. So I ain't talking.
What is your
Yeah,
basis?
Madam Chair, to Mr.
I would leave.
No,
You
but
guys just participate.
We are going to ask you to remove yourself from this space, ma'am.
You guys
all
are.
right, Madam Chair, I'm going to continue with my motion to approve.
Something for the community that needs it.
We are gonna ask you to,
You need to remove yourself.
I'm not.
Madam Chair, if I can recommend
You guys are
pause.
violating the juice.
If I can recommend a pause, we're
Process.
going to.
You did not provide schematics at all. I asked for that.
we are gonna pause so we can handle this situation because we can't proceed without our motion without hearing.
Because this needs to be postponed.
We are gonna pause. If you could just hold on for 1 moment.
Lock cameras to an immigrant neighborhood. What are you doing? Because this is a real estate project. It is not about the community. The community has spoken many times that they want a full service grocery store. You rejected a national New York chain that wanted to buy the property. state law.
Are you gonna allow me to
The
speak?
days are going to be in perpetuity allowed a ban on a grocery store. Asia Town Hall. Our dissenting voices.
Apologies, we've all been on mute, so can you do the motion again?
This is silencing and a shame.
I make a motion to temporarily postpone this meeting until later time.
Adjourn.
I second the motion.
Adjourn, I'm sorry.
Residents fear targeting by ICE.
Anthony,
Raises
I can't think with her.
Fluker,
concerns.
Harsh, and Whitfield?
Yes.
Okay, we're gonna adjourn momentarily. Thank you, everyone.
Okay.
We will make note when we resume the meeting. Thank you.
All ashamed of.
We are adjourning the meeting for those who didn't hear online, so we will be back momentarily. Thank you so much for
We
your
adjourn the
patience.
meeting. We've asked everyone to leave.
I'll make a motion.
Yep, I'm just gonna resume the meeting. You let me know when you're ready, Evelyn. Yeah, I'll turn it over to you. Okay, thank you so much, Evelyn. Thank you all that are here in person, those that are still joining us online. We apologize for the disruption. We are going to resume the Cleveland Planning Commission meeting at this time. We're going to at least wrap up the agenda item that we were discussing before we took the temporary adjournment, and then I'll have some comments about the balance of the agenda. So just to refresh everyone's memory, we are currently on EC 2026-010.
Madam Chair, I think we need a motion
Oh, we
to adjourn. I mean, to.
Oh, my apologies, just trying to.
I think we need to be called back into
The roll call.
the roll call, but and then I think maybe we can help out by our friends here at the other end.
My apologies, just trying to move us along.
Doing a good job.
We did.
Yes.
So, Madam Chair, I believe the official recommendation here is a motion to reconvene.
Thank you. Motion to.
I make a motion to reconvene.
Second. In a second? Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. And so we are going to resume agenda item EC 2026-010. This is Midtown Lofts. I'm going to turn it over to my colleague to make a postponement motion.
I have to get your agreement to allow us to postpone, Midtown laws. Are you okay with that? Yes.
May I ask a question? What is the postponement, and is there anything we can do to close out the matter today versus postponing?
Thank you for your question. Due to the disruption that we experienced today, I am going to connect with the director after today. We will likely try to do something in between the next scheduled meeting. I can't make any guarantees or promises at this time. We just have to try to mitigate the situation to get us back in this room. And part of that mitigation included us agreeing to postponing this for today. But as soon as we're able to post publicly when the next meeting will be, which again, I'm going to talk to the director to see if we can get another meeting on record. That would be our plan.
Madam Chair, to the applicant, is this causing a hardship? You need to close, you need, so is there a hardship that you're gonna encounter as a result of this postponement?
The only point of clarification I would like is that we are on track to submit for building permit by the end of this month. Typically, we are required to have commission approval in order to facilitate, a speedy and efficient building permit review process. So that is my only concern there. I'm not sure if there are any other concerns.
Yeah, so the permitting process, when you pull a permit, I mean, your motion is like included within that permit, so that won't like restrict you from being able to get that through, at least not through planning department, so.
Okay, so as long as we can proceed with our building permit submission and that our reviews can continue through normal course of business, I don't see why. Of course, it's disappointing to hear, but we will follow any appropriate requirements that we need to do. Can we also just confirm that the applicant followed all required protocol for this meeting and that we followed all the standard processes from an application standpoint?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for your understanding.
So there was a motion for postponement. Do we have a second and then we can do the vote? Right? That's what we're with?
Yes, I made the motion already.
I will second the motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Anthony?
Yes.
Fluker?
Yes.
Harsh?
Yes.
And Whitfield?
Yes.
Project is postponed.
Thank you all again.
Thank you.
Appreciate your presentation. Okay. Just to make sure that everyone present in the room as well as online understands what is going to happen next. We unfortunately are in a situation where due to the temporary adjournment, we are not going to be able to get through our agenda today. We do have one additional item that we're going to take, and then we are actually going to adjourn for today. We do recognize how this is disruptive and not ideal, and so we just expect and express our sincere apology and just ask for grace as we try to navigate these next couple of weeks. We know that our next meeting due to the holiday is not until June, and so have already started talking with our assistant director, and when our director returns, I will communicate with her next week so we can try to see if we can get another meeting in before our next scheduled meeting. So again, our sincere apologies. We appreciate everyone's grace and understanding, but we are going to need to go through and I guess procedurally, assistant director, do we need to postpone each item individually?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So we're gonna move through to postpone each of the items that are remaining on the agenda.
Can we hear the
Yeah,
one
get us
first?
to the first.
Sure. Yep.
They're gonna respond.
Did we take a vote on? Yeah.
Okay, before we move to postpone the other items, we're gonna hear mandatory legislative referral ordinance number 556-2026. This is relating to the data centers in the city of Cleveland, and we have Shannon present here today.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Shannon Leonard, Chief Zoning Administrator. This is just, you all saw this at the last Planning Commission. We are just coming back on a technicality of adding an amendment here. So the amendment updates is in your, and I don't have it in front of me, so I apologize. We're adding include review as written in the originally proposed ordinance, putting that back so that is in conversation with when we talk about this moratorium will affect not only the acceptance and review of applications across the board. It's we're adding review back in it, and then the change facility to building is actually not the case. We're going to leave it as facility and building. And so the reason for that is data centers aren't just buildings as defined in our code. They're also all their accessory facilities, so all of the extra generators and things of that nature. And so we want to make sure that as we're thinking about getting policies and regulations around this emerging use, that we do so and have everything clarified for the moratorium. And then the timeline will be changed to between 3 months to 1 year, giving time for council and planning and the rest of the administration to work together to get proper policies and regulations in place as we deal with this evolutionary and emerging new use that hasn't been contemplated before in our codes.
Thank you, Shannon. Commission members, any comments or questions?
No, Madam Chair. I'd like to make a motion to approve mandatory legislative referral 556-2026 amendment.
Madam Chair, I'll second the motion.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Anthony,
Yes.
Fluker,
Yes.
Harsh,
Yes.
Whitfield.
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you, Shannon.
Thanks, guys.
Okay. So where we are now is we are going to lose quorum, which means in addition to the delay, we're unable to proceed. Since quorum is the primary reason, we don't need to go through each one. We just need a motion stating that we have to adjourn due to losing quorum and that we're gonna proceed, or these items will proceed at a future meeting.
Madam Chair, I make a motion to adjourn today's meeting due to the inability to maintain a quorum.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second the motion.
Motion and a second?
Anthony,
Yes.
Fluker,
Yes.
Harsh,
Yes.
and Whitfield.
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you all so much. Again, apologies to those that are here today. We will, as soon as we're able, post information pertaining to a future meeting, if that is possible for the next scheduled meeting. This meeting is officially adjourned at 11:48. Thank you all.